Hello, everyone. Hi, my name is Caryline Clark, and I'm the engagement manager at Iowa PBS. I wanted to quickly just say thank you to all of you for spending your evening with us and with Ballet Des Moines as we connect virtually for this beautiful program. Please don't forget to, if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat and we can bring them forward for our special guest to answer. So our very first guests were joined by Ma Cong, who is the Associate Artistic Director for the Richmond Ballet, and he is also the choreographer of the ballet that we just watched together. So welcome, Ma.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. I just wanted to, if you could just briefly share a little bit about yourself and your background for all of our guests watching.
Yes, sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Ma Cong, and I'm born and raised in China, and I moved to US about 21 years ago, and from Beijing. And I started the dance, Chinese folk dance, when I was 10, and in school for 7 years at the Beijing Dance Academy. And then when I graduated, and I was very fortunate to join the National Ballet of China, and where I danced, started with my ballet career there in the company for 4 years. And then I got the opportunity to join Tulsa Ballet, and I accepted. That's why I moved to US in 1999. And right now I'm served as a resident choreographer for Tulsa Ballet and also the associate artistic director for Richmond Ballet.
Amazing. Well, I know you have great connections with Ballet Des Moines. Could you tell us a little bit about how you were first introduced and what brings you to Ballet Des Moines?
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, it has been such a wonderful time to have this special relationship with Ballet Des Moines. It's all because of my very best friend, Serkan Usta, and where I really enjoyed our friendship since 1999, and we danced together at the Tulsa Ballet. And then after that, he moved to Des Moines in 2004. And then after that, I think he wanted to, just invited me to start to choreograph something for Ballet Des Moines, and where he pointed as artistic director. And I think we both decided that we're going to go ahead and start to build the first piece, which is Melodia in 2006. So it has been a long ride, but it is really unbelievable to think about. It has been 15 years. Really special relationship with the Ballet Des Moines. So yeah, I love Ballet. I love Des Moines. Every time I visit the city, I really find it very enjoyable.
Oh, great. I know our team had such a wonderful time working with Ballet Des Moines and having all of the wonderful guests safely in our auditorium so that we could produce these wonderful pieces. So the information, what we all just watched together, your ballet, has so much emotion, but it is so short, 14 minutes. So can you talk a little bit about the process that went into the ballet?
Yes, absolutely. And this work that I was originally created for Tulsa Ballet Second Company in 2016. And it is a really challenging to choreograph because, this Philip Glass music just has so much consistent changing of music counts, and sometimes it goes from 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, and it's changing to 3 or 12 and 9. So I just find there's a lot of information in my head trying to put together to choreograph the steps, and also on top of that, the music such has a very emotional and it's very inspiring. So how I going to put the numbers and the emotions all together. That's why I titled in formation. Yeah, it's a very challenging piece to choreograph, but it's also very challenging for the dancers to dance as well. Yeah. And I had a really great fun working with just young dancers at Tulsa Ballet too. And I'm just so glad that I will be able to set this ballet at the Ballet Des Moines, and the dancers will be able to to get something out of this piece. Yeah.
Well, you mentioned the composer, Philip Glass. So what made you decide on his music specifically?
I think I just find it's very exciting, and um, and it's very inspiring. And I just love that his music just give me so much imagination for the dance movement.
Yeah.
And I could picture many different movements in my head, and yeah, it just is such a beauty. I love his composition as always.
Well, the season was certainly as appropriately titled An Act of Resilience by so many artists, and we're so grateful for your collaboration. Would you want to share a little bit about what's new and what's on the horizon for you so that our audience can look for you more?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, it has been such a challenging year, and the arts really suffered a big time, and because the audience could not go to the theater to see the show, the live show, and everybody in this dance world is trying to find any possible way to produce new work and finding online shows and stuff like that. And as far as for choreographer myself, I haven't been able to choreograph very much. And I have been doing some Zoom choreography, and I have done a few, but it's very challenging to go to this, go to the studio. But I'm very looking forward as the things are start rolling with the vaccines and everything. So I just feel like there's a light for us to reach very soon. So I'm just really looking forward to it. And I have a project that are coming up, and I'm choreographing a full length of a children's ballet, Jack and Beanstalk, for Tulsa Ballet, second company. And also, I'm also collaborating with Val Canaproli. Will be making a new Nutcracker for the Tulsa Ballet Theater this coming winter.
Oh my
So,
goodness.
yeah.
Well, you mentioned a couple new pieces. I wondered if you would want to share a little bit, if there's a favorite ballet that you've choreographed in your past. What's your favorites that you've done?
I just found out all my babies. So when you're counting them, it's hard to say which one is your favorite. But I find that they are all very diverse, and it comes from the off-point works like ballet shoes up to bare feet, and all also on point. And I just love them. I really enjoy the most enjoyable things to be able to have the opportunity to work with the artists in the studio to create something beautiful to inspire people.
Mm-hmm.
So,
oh, wonderful. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining us this evening, Ma, and what a pleasure it's been to have you live. I'd like everyone watching to please sit back and enjoy as we now watch together the second performance in Acts of Resilience Spirit. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed that second piece in Acts of Resilience Spirit. We are now joined live by Serkan Usta, who is the artistic director with Ballet Des Moines. So welcome.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Very good. Yes, absolutely. Happy to have you join us. I thought you could share a little bit, just introduce yourself, Serkan, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, my name is Serkan Usta, and I'm the artistic director for Ballet Des Moines. I'm from Turkey, but I've been in America for almost 30 years. I've been city all over the like 4 or 5 cities, and I end up in Tulsa Ballet. And previously, you talked to Cong, and I danced with him in the same company in Tulsa Ballet, and where we met and as a friend and etc. And then yeah, since almost 17 years I've been in Iowa.
Well, we heard great things about you from Ma. He was so kind, and it was so great to hear how your professional and personal lives had grown together. Could you tell us a little bit about your piece that we all just watched? Padam Padam has so many storylines, and that just throughout the entire ballet. So how did you choreograph the piece?
So it was earlier in Ballet Des Moines, earlier years, and it was choreographed already. And Lori, my wife, who is now the associate artistic director for Ballet Des Moines,
Mhm.
who was original cast. And when with the team and what the piece should be, and we decided that how romantic the Padam was, and so we just kind of decided to do that. But I redid some parts of the ballets, but it's a great ballet for everyone to enjoy. I'm sure the music, and it's a French music, and it is Edith Piaf and Jacques Brel, and when I have little sweet spot for Edith Piaf and also Jacques Brel, and because their voice for me moves me the way I feel their emotions, and this was a long time ago when I was listening to those two, and I said one day I will do this music. But then finally that time came a few years back, and I did the choreography, and I think it was very successful for Ballet Des Moines. Yes.
There was a great question from the audience that asked, how do you determine the costumes and how do you decide how that matches the choreography? Do you have any insight?
So the way I choose the music first, I listen to it, whatever it comes to my feeling, and then what happens is I listen to music over and over and over and over and over and over, and then once it comes to my feeling, then I take it to the dancers and in the studio, and then we start with the movement, and then once they understand the movement, then I talk to the costume designer. I make them watch the whole choreography. They
Mhm.
come up with an idea. Then after that, we of course talk to the lighting guy who designs lighting, and then he comes with an idea, and then within 6-7 weeks we bring the whole performance in a live on a theater. So there's a lot of process going on.
Yeah, a lot more people than maybe others might not know that, you take into consideration all the other things that come into the actual end result. So that's great. Could you share a little bit about your process, not specifically, it doesn't have to be for this piece, but just your choreography? And you had said that you listen to the music and then the dancers. Have
Yes,
you ever
so
done the
yeah,
opposite?
you're right. I mean, it's every time is different. Like for example,
Sure.
when I hear, let's say if I were to do a choreography within a few months, and the music just shows up somehow. Is it in a radio or in a computer, on a TV somewhere? Then I just go, what? That's it. And all of a sudden I try to find that music, and I have to call people, figure out what that music was, and it takes a little process. And then once I figure out the music, then I sit down, listen to it again and again and again, and then see what parts for what movements and solo, or 2 people dancing, 3 people dancing, or finales in this part, and etc. So then I would like to take it to studio, and I would just put it in there a little bit, but I wouldn't tell any dancers of Ballet Des Moines. I would just put it out there, see what their reaction is, and then you can see if they like it or not. And then all of a sudden I ask, hey, what do you guys think about this music? Do you guys like it? But they don't know that probably that I've been listening to it for last 2 months. So yeah, and then they like, we like it. That's so cool. Then and then a week later or so, when the time to create, then we start that music. They're like, wow, that's really cool. And then I try to explain the storyline, and then try to get the first probably 16 counts of the steps. Once as an artistic director, they already know how I work, but as a choreographer, for me, it's very it takes time for me to start with the first like 18 or 30 counts of the choreography. Once it happens, then I just keep going. And of course, you need the dancers like we have at Ballet Des Moines, who are very professional, and they already probably know what I want at the end. But it's of course it's different. I don't know what Ma said, but it's different with a lot of choreographers. You know how their process is, and how they react to the dancers, because I know my dancers, they know me, and as a new choreographer, they have to learn really fast who can move what with the collaboration of the artistic directors. You know, this such a dancer can do like this and etc. So there's another process also when we have a guest choreographer in town.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Well, there was a great question we asked of Ma, and I'd like you to answer it as well too. His answer was kind of funny as he wouldn't pick one, but what's been your favorite ballet to choreograph, or maybe a couple favorites?
That I have created.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I love them all because if you know, if no, seriously, if
That's
you,
what Ma said.
yeah, because I'm very crazy. My mind, if you knew me and everybody who knows me, and my mind is, it's very creative move all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And every ballet of mine is very different. And everybody tells me, whoa, what happened? This is like totally different than what you did last year or before. Oh my God, what is this? And so a lot of people likes it. So it's very difficult for me to pinpoint which exactly that I really like. Of course, you know, it's a tricky question. You know, it's a very tricky question. So, but if I were to choose one, very fast, maybe okay. You know what? Let's be okay with this evening, and the pas de deux, every pas de deux that I have done is my favorite. Whoever is dancing, what part, every pas de deux and group pieces. I will say it like that.
Okay, that's a perfect answer. I'd like to end on just one final question that I think is great information for our audience. I think many may not have known that this entire collaboration included 7 ballets during an 11-week time period. And we talk a lot about resilience. I mean, that's in the title, but if you would share a little bit, Serkan, what resilience has meant to you this past year.
Well, what resilient meant for me, you know, we don't have a lot of time to talk in depth, but in shorter, happiness, struggle, new beginnings. And because we have such a great team in Ballet Des Moines, and a lot of, you know, our team work really hard not to fall in that hole where a lot of ballet companies, a lot of art companies in the whole world is struggling. But with our team working really hard and collaborating with Iowa PBS, and I feel like we have done so many gracious things for the audience to not forget about Iowa, Des Moines, etc. That we are resilient and is yeah, it's, you know, it's very hard situation with a lot of art companies. So I think
We may have lost Serkan. He was having some internet troubles, but I know he was wrapping up with that final question. I just wanted again to say thank you all for joining us this evening. I hope that you've enjoyed these special conversations tonight with Serkan Usta and Ma Cong. And a great thanks to Jamie Milne. She's the artistic director with Ballet Des Moines, and she's been including wonderful information in the chat about these special pieces and the dancers. So I hope that you've seen those. We're now going to switch to the last piece of the evening with pieces from the beloved ballets, including Sleeping Beauty and La Corsaire. Thank you all.